Good evening, G1s. I am Master Wayne for another G1 interview, and I'm joined by a G1 legend, that is Bobbohead13. Good evening, sir. How are you this evening?
Good evening. I'm doing good. I am not a legend. Don't listen to this man. He's a crazy nutcase. I'm telling you.
So we're going to start off with some screw attack questions like we often do. Well, all the time, in fact. And then we go on to your personal works, and then talk gaming, and then the G1 question at the end. So, Bobbohead13, how did you discover screwattack.com?
Well, it started way back in 2007. It was way back on GameTrailers.com. That's when I discovered the Angry Video Game Nerd. One thing led to another. I'm sure everyone kind of started with the Angry Video Game Nerd, or some people, at least the older G1s. And that led me to Screw Attack. Started an account back in 2008. And been on and off for being interacting with the G1 community, but I always liked the content that Screw Attacks kind of had. So I've been kind of in the background, or so at least observing Screw Attack from a content perspective. And it wouldn't be until around 2012 when I really started getting back into the community. Things that kind of lifted that off, whereas G1 After Dark, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon, which we will.
Oh, yeah.
And the SGC Kickstarter for bringing it back. So that really got me involved with the G1 community. And since then, I've been fairly active on a daily basis, interacting with G1s, whether it be playing games, interacting in the community and other things like forum games or anything else in the main site. So that's how I came here. So at least that's the short of it, at least. So yeah.
It's a magical place.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite show on Screw Attack? The original content.
Always watching hard news. I've always been from a background perspective, I've always liked doing news or reporting news. So way back when they had Destin leave, and they were finding someone to replace Destin with that. They actually had interview. You can find this on my YouTube if you look at it later. But I did a few.
Auditions.
Auditions, yeah. I did a few auditions for that, and they turned out okay. The thing is, I did them like at the end of the day, so it was like 11, 12 o'clock, so people kind of commented like, why are you talking so soft? And it was just like, and the thing is, for a while, there was one of the suggested videos on YouTube whenever they posted hard news. My videos were on the site, so it's like, I keep getting this like kind of like flagged for like hate and stuff like that. And I'm like, it was just an audition, like, give me a break. So, but of course they got Jared to do that, and that was way back when, so. But yeah, I liked hard news. Big fan of Death Battle. At least enjoy watching them. I don't get too much into the analytics of it, but I enjoy what they bring to the table, and like seeing the matchups too. So it's always a great show to watch. If I have time to, and if I can get to it on when they do it, out of the boxes, and when they do streaming on Twitch, I'm there a few times, and just to hang around the chat and watch them play games and talk to other G1s there too. So that's mostly what I get from Screw Attack for nowadays, at least. So
I'm so glad that Sean's taken over from Hard News.
Yeah.
He
does a good job. Yeah, he does. Yeah. So good job on him.
when Chad did it, it didn't fit. For me, he's not the face of Hard News. But then Sean blew it out.
I don't want to talk bad on Chad, because I know people that talk to Chad a bit. So Chad did a good job for all intents and purposes. He did a good job.
I disagree.
Yeah. Asan, don't tell Chad that he did okay. He's a great person.
A bit of controversy.
He'll do it. Yeah.
So, who is your favorite Screw Attack member of staff?
Member of staff? As of late, at least current staff, I like talk. Actually, a few times I've kind of interacted with Sean Turn, the new community manager for the G1s. He's liked things I posted about him on, whether it be on Twitter or Facebook. Recently, he posted up a Facebook album of his stuff at SGC, and he actually tagged me in one of the pictures, so I felt like that was kind of special on that end right there. But and also he more recently, with the really recent release of Destiny on many consoles, whatever, he actually started the clan group for that, and I've actually interacted with people to play that game with other G1s. So he actually headed that, obviously, and got everyone interacting and doing that. So he's doing a lot of things to kind of like kickstart a few things and lets the G1s kind of carry it on. So at least he's he's aware of like new games coming out or what people are interested in, and he kind of way like leads on to other G1s to join it and do it. So currently he's my favorite member of staff just because he's the closest to me, and I would feel the G1 community too. So
the guy deserves a lot of credit for what he's doing right now.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
What was the last thing on the site that made you laugh?
The last thing. Maybe laugh. Gee. Well, I could say, probably the last thing was probably the most recent death battle. Whenever Chad does Boomstick, he just does a crazy job of doing what he does as Boomstick. So, as I would say that, I get a chuckle out of that. Honestly, from a community standpoint, though, I haven't seen anything like funny posts or anything like that. Although I do delve into the forums quite a bit sometimes, and you see some funny posts here and there. But at least within Screw Attack, I haven't seen too much other than what I just told you about Boomstick and Death Battle. So he's just quite the character. So that gets me a chuckle every time. That's what kind of has me come back for the show. So yeah.
Awesome. What is your fondest memory of Screw Attack? What's the one thing that stands out from the site more than anything else?
Just I keep going back to it is the SGC Kickstarter. I was there within the last 24 hours. I really thought they weren't going to make a push for it. They were sitting at $25,000, I believe, or $30,000 at the beginning of the day on the last day of the Kickstarter, and they pushed for $70,000 or $80,000 additional. So they went about $10,000 over the goal, just through consistent streaming that Craig was doing, and they got the last push for that. I thought that was a really good community effort just to do that. I had very little hope for SGC to come back because I really wanted to do that because I saw all the videos from all the 3 past SGCs before that. It was just something I wanted to be a part of again, and I'm glad that we did it. So as soon as I found out, I was just like, it was pretty much like the most exciting moment of to me for Screw Attack history, and that actually made SGC 2013 really memorable to me. So so I'd say that it was just a really good community push, and thanks to G1s and everyone that supported SGC coming back, and now it's going to be a consistent thing. We started it and we did it, so that's my most fondest memory so far. So
fantastic. Yeah. And now we move on.
You should come down soon, though. I want you to come Mastermind someday to SGC. You can do it. I know you can. You try.
I will try. I'll bring my guitar along. I'll make some money busking outside.
Yeah, exactly.
There'll be me, James, Ronald, and
exactly. Form your little band there. Yeah, exactly.
Little mariachi band going on. Fantastic.
Don't bring the hats. I'll furnish those for you. Don't worry. Fantastic. I got the hookups.
Okay. And that's the end of the Screw Attack questions. So move on to your work. You podcasting king, you.
Still raining. Who knows? We'll see. So
started a podcast called Randumb, and more recently Randstart. How did that all come about?
It came out of the resurgence of me coming back to Screw Attack back in early 2012, like April, May. Back when I actually started, when G1 After Dark started too. There's a few community members that were there. It was me, a G1 named G1 Dirk. His name, I don't want to say his name, but I don't know if he wants to know it, but it's Dirk. Another member named Dark Vapor. We started a show. Our first episode aired in, I want to say, I think it was May or June 2012. Since then, we're trying to do weekly episodes or bi-weekly. It kind of got a little inconsistent, but nonetheless, we can gather some people for an episode. We did it. So that ran for a few months. I would say it became less consistent as probably about the year mark. He was the host of the show, Dirk was. He handed it off to me because he has investment to college. He was a student. He just went from high school to college then. So he did that, and I took over the show. I did it less consistent just because I had my own schedule as well. I started going to college myself last fall, so it kind of got mixed up in my own schedule. But for the times we did have, I got to meet G1s. Both I've never heard their voices before, never saw them on camera before. Most of the time it was voice, though. But it was actually really cool because like you can, you don't just put a G1 to their name. You actually hear them. You hear them talk. You hear about. We had segments where we talked about certain issues, their stances on it, games they play, games they like, things you can't really read on paper, or in this case the website, Twitter or Screw Attack, whatever. When you talk to them, it's a lot more authentic. That's why, things like G1 interviews is so amazing too, just because you put a face, you put a voice, you put even something, some context into the G1 community. So that was the main thing I liked about it, was just for me personally to meet other people, and for them to kind of get out of their comfort zone to kind of interact with the G1s, and from there I think that helped a bit. So helped me know people and get a good grasp of different aspects of the G1 community, and reach out to different, I say sectors, but different people that come from different places. So that's why I like the show. So if it decides to come back, I'll do it. I think there's a lot of interest in it, but we'll wait and see. I know my school year's starting here soon, but I think we'll come up with something, or at least something new. We'll see. I'm thinking about it.
Well, that's fantastic, because you just answered my next question.
Yeah.
When is it coming back? Yeah. We need it back.
Yeah. I've actually, there's a few people that have expressed interest of bringing it back, so I might get around to doing that. I can't make promises, just because I will do, that's what I did before, is I would do an episode and then I wouldn't follow up by doing like a week later, or 2 weeks later or whatever. I would do it like on a monthly basis, which if it comes down to that, I probably could end up doing that, but I just want to make a schedule where I can say, okay, here's the day I can do it. Let's see if it works with everyone's schedule. Because what I had was I would always get repeated people, which bless them. I'm glad they're on the show for as much as they do. But I like to get new people, and then sometimes I guess that's the hardest. But yeah, that was kind of my main thing. Was I kept getting the same people, and it kind of got kind of the same thing every episode. But if people like it, and like I said, they've recently expressed it, I can see it coming back soon. So.
Well, we'll see. If you ever need any help from me, you know where I am. If you need a guest host.
Yeah. I mean, for anyone that's watching this right now, you can tweet me, PM me on Screw Attack, forum, wherever, Skype. I'm Bobbohead everywhere, so Bobbohead13. I'm sure you're bound to find me somewhere. So if you're interested, let me know through all those means too. There's also Randumb Twitter if you want to follow that, Facebook. You can talk to me there too. I manage those, so yeah.
Okay, we're moving on to G1 After Dark. Could you kind of explain to the G1s who don't know what G1 After Dark is?
G1 After Dark is a tiny chat room that we've hosted since April on 4/20 of 2012. I know it's a infamous day, drug references, whatever. That's when it started. I became a moderator of it back in early 2013. But what it is, we host events there. Usually it could be a marathon of something, or a lot of times we'll have our very popular power hours. 21 and older, please, or whatever your drinking age is, that and over. Could get a little reckless, but it's usually a fun time to have that. Or power hour, you drink every minute for 60 minutes to a group of songs or whatever. So that's one event, just for an example. But we do run, anime marathons. We have other events where we watch certain shows, et cetera, et cetera. And we usually, for the community, we actually at least I tend to do it, is I create forum sigs. If you're part of the forums, you get a little signature badge you can put underneath your signature, and it tells you that you were there, and I put your name on it. So it's just little things, like, just, I guess that's an incentive, but it's usually a good time just to chat with people, get on video chat. Again, kind of breaking barriers that you wouldn't usually do through the main site. I would say as of late, though, we've been having issues with the Tiny Chat servers in general. The site's kind of going to crud. We're finding workarounds to kind of host these events, which as of now, there is a new service called Watch Together where we watch videos, and it actually works really well with everyone's internet in general. It doesn't lag for them. And then we actually just host Skype calls, it seems like. So if we host future events, it's me and the rest of the moderators, which includes our site admins, our site admin Fox, moderator Abrams X, among other people. Sorry, I'm not listing you guys. I should know your names, but at least in order. But it's been a while. But usually we organize those, and we're finding workarounds to kind of bring it back together. So, like I said, it kind of stinks that tiny chat kind of bugs up for a lot of people. So that's what kind of makes us kind of hinder back on some community events like that. So we don't want that. So we're looking to find different ways to do that kind of service and make sure it works for everybody. So
I really miss G1 After Dark. I used to go there a lot, but for the past year or so, I've been working mornings, and the time zones are really ugh. So I really miss you guys. I really do. I was there for the.
I know.
There was one time you played the song "Call Me Maybe" for like 12 hours straight or something.
That was a marathon. The Call Me Maybe marathon was one of our first ones. That was back in 2012, and that was hosted by Chaotic Meltdown, who's a mod there still.
Is he president yet?
As much. What was that?
Is he president yet?
Is he president? I don't know. I hope so someday. Maybe of Germany. We'll start there where he's localed at. So.
What else was there? There was,
the Call Me Maybe marathon was crazy, and I was there for a little bit. I remember I wasn't there the whole thing, but just people that went in and out. It was just nice to see people come around and chat for a bit. It was just a reason to kind of come together and chat and just listen to a stupid pop song for 24 hours. So.
And there was also another one where you recorded an episode of Randumb.
Yeah.
In the actual Tiny Chat. So.
Yeah,
that was fun. I was there for that.
Because Tiny Chat wasn't bugging at that point. That actually worked out really well. We I forget what episode number was, but we called it the Clusterfuck Edition. It was just, I believe at one point we had 18 people chatting or kind of intermingling, chatting, or at least involved with chatting at every so often. I would add people onto the guest list as they were entering, and it was really, it was like when you posted on the Screw Attack page, I have like a grid of people, like the guests, and it was like the longest guest list I ever made. It was just like you got to put the name and their avatar, and just like it was a ton of people. So the people that were there, it was fun. I don't know if I'll do it again. I think my rule with Randumb is I want to keep it kind of concise and short. That way you don't have to run an hour. We've had episodes that run like an hour and 20 minutes. I just want to keep it shorter. I don't want to go all side scrollers on this and make it, however long it has to be kind of thing. They have done that before, but yeah, that was a fun though. That was a fun one though. I won't forget that.
I was
one.
there for that. It was a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Over to your collaboration projects. Is there anything you have in store?
As of right now, I'm kind of thinking of new ideas. This was kind of going outside the box of Randumb, to do like some more like interview shows or do little features like that. I say that, but I haven't made too much headway as of late to do that. Again, if Randumb goes well, I might just continue doing that. But as far as collaborations, I'm always open for whether it be lists or things like that, top 10 lists, whether it's video or, a blog post or whatever. I'm always open to do that. Haven't gotten any word. I did post a YouTube video, and I think I didn't post it on Screw Attack, though.
You did.
I should probably do that. But if I do... Oh, I did? Okay. Yeah. So... I did look at an invitation video, but if anyone is interested in me, I can probably also reach out too. So if there's a calling for it, I'll definitely I'll do that. So yeah, I think it's possible. Whether or not it's, like I said, we can get people to let me know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And that brings us to our middle segment, which I like to call Gaming Confessions.
Oh no.
Bobbohead13, do you have anything you want to get off your chest you're not proud of being a gamer?
Well, there's one. I think I might have another that I didn't tell you yet. Shh, it's a secret. But for one of them, I do have a temper when it comes to being competitive on the competitive side of things. I think it's a common one for a lot of people, but at least for me, whether it's like competitive shooters or just like a multiplayer game, in general, I just have this like winning mentality. I always like, I don't get too extreme, but I get to the point where I throw a little bit of a temper with whenever I play a game or something. So like if I'll drop out of a multiplayer match if my team's just doing crap and I'm yelling at the screen, cussing it out. I think like, okay, my parents are probably going to hear me down the hall there. I should probably just let it go and just close the game and just, let off some steam for a bit or whatever. Usually I'm in the midst of chatting with other people on Skype or something like that. And they're not worried, but I feel like, I should just kind of not make it seem like a worryful situation. I'm not like destroying things, but at this, like, I don't know, it feels like if I let myself, continue to do what I was doing, I get like potentially grab something and throw it against the wall. I don't know. So there's that. I think another thing was more commonly is like there's sometimes that people will share like gaming series or they're like super stoked for it. One thing is it's not like a pet peeve or anything, but Screw Attack has a very deep ingrained liking, at least with some G1 members, of professional wrestling.
Right.
I just don't see the appeal of that. So it's like if it's video games or whatever, or wrestling in general, it seems like it's ingrained in the Screw Attack like blood flow. So if it's part of that, I kind of get it, but like at the same time, it's like, ugh, I just can't grasp it. It looks too fake to me. I don't know. I know there's a story, and I think they know there's a story behind it and all that, but it's just like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But that wasn't a gaming one. But if it is games, then so be it. Wrestling games too. That counts. Sure.
Well, do you feel better?
I do.
Fantastic.
Actually. It's still 90 degrees out, or 32 Celsius where you come from.
That's
it's hot out here, so the steam is still here though a little bit. So. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're perspirating as we speak.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna move forward now.
All right.
We're gonna talk
good,
some.
because I don't think I could talk about that anymore. I don't know.
Let's move on. Let's leave it. It's in the past now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna talk about your random gaming memories and stuff. Some gaming questions.
Okay.
So, what's your favorite gaming system of all time?
Super Nintendo.
Oh,
I love
God.
the Super Nintendo. I'm sorry.
If
I love
I
the
had
Genesis.
$1 for every
but
time
when you hear my
somebody said
favorite
that.
game series or whatever your next questions are, you might feel a little happier. But Super Nintendo, I was raised on it. I had the most games for that system. Most of your Nintendo mainstays like Mario, Star Fox, Legend of Zelda, Super Metroid. A lot of great games, at least in the series that they came from. A lot of them are on that system right there. So that's why I mainly like it, just because a lot of the series I do like, I think their core game, or the game that kind of like set them off, was on the Super Nintendo. More just because, NES was good. It's just like the Super Nintendo took advantage of better processing and all that. It kind of set the standard for 2D shooters or 2D platformers that just transcends into gaming nowadays. So. But yeah, that's why I like the Super Nintendo. Great games on there. Great RPGs too. Final Fantasy VI is a great game. That's my favorite Final Fantasy. Secret of Mana, I'm still going through that. It's taken me a while, but I like it so far. So, just a great system in general. I just like just mainly because the series that the games come from. It's just a great system that they all started off on, or at least have their best game on, at least in my opinion. So that's why I like it.
So, what's your favorite game on that particular system?
Super Metroid is my favorite Super Nintendo
Metroid.
game. Yeah. I've always loved the 2D Metroid games. Right now, playing 2 Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance, so it's right here. So I just love 2D Metroid. Playing through it, beating it as fast as I can, getting 100% and things like that. Learning new secrets even after you play it multiple times.
Breaking.
So. Yeah, sequence breaking, etc. Yeah. Oh,
I did that once.
Metroid
I didn't even realize how I
Metroid
did
Zero
it.
Mission's great for sequence breaking. Oh, it's so fun. You can do bomb jumping and all that stuff. Other things. So that's why I like that game. It's like there's no wrong way to play, especially on the Game Boy Advance one. There's no wrong way to play a Metroid game. You can kind of just go however you want, and then you can follow the path, but you can also kind of derive from it or deviate from it and do your own thing. And it might be challenging, but at least it's there. You can do it for those that want a challenge. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What are you playing at the moment, and how are you liking it? Playing
Metroid Fusion. Playing that. Currently, I've delved in a lot of hours in Destiny on the PS4. If you want to play Destiny with me, I'm on PS4. Bobbohead13. So I'm playing a lot of that. It's a great game. I recommend it. If you guys are still on the edge, like, oh, is it a Halo game? Is it not? It's not a Halo game. It's a different game, and I'm glad Bungie did this game because it's their own. It's a new creation that's just great. It's like its own little game. It's like Borderlands. It plays like kind of like an MMO in a way where you're kind of with other people, but it's not so massive. I think it's got that right touch to it where it's just like the campaign and the multiplayer portions. It actually kind of blends together where you're still playing with somebody. So I like Destiny. in case you can get it from that. So get that game. I recommend it. So I'm playing that, and I think that's it for now. I mean, thank you to the entertainment guy, Alex. I know you know him, Mr. Wayne. He hooked me up with the Smash Brothers 3DS demo code, so I'm playing a bit of that too in the meantime whenever I'm not playing Destiny. So I'm just playing the heck out of that, with the same stage with the same 5 characters you can play as. So till October 3rd. So I'm playing that too. So those are my games.
Brilliant. Yeah. Your treasured gaming possession. What have you brought for us this evening?
Well, today it's not so much relative to any gaming hardware, or peripheral, or anything like that, but it's related to a gaming convention. In case you haven't got that, I don't know. SGC is great, by the way. Did I mention that? So last year when they had Mario Party After Dark, they had shirts for everybody there for the different people. I'm always for Jared for Mario, which is Team Mario. So last year, I got a shirt there. They were selling them at the convention, and then I got them to sign it right here on the front. So Team Mario, there's Jared Knobbenbauer's signature right there. So I brought it back a second time this year because I was thinking they might have Mario Party After Dark there, but they had something else, a store called Chance Time. And Chance Time there was another After Dark kind of thing. So they're drinking up on stage and supposedly not some mysterious liquid, but something to make their brain go crazy. And it was Jared, Chad, Space Hamster, and Sam, and they were playing just different games, and they were rouletting it, and whoever did the best or whatever at that game won, essentially. I don't know who won, because I was probably in a similar state that they were on stage, so don't quote me on that. But, so what he did, so on the front of the shirt, I had him complete something on the back of the shirt, which is this entire story, which I've shared on way back in July when we had this. So as it reads, at the top it says, Chad got it first, because I had Chad and Jared kind of toss this off, and there's a few pictures I can show if you want links to them. I'll have them later. But anyway, it says, "Bro Jared, fuck you, Chad," and then Jared got it and said, "Oh no, say." What would it say? Oh no, say. Okay. Chad said, "Bro Jared, fuck you," and then Jared finished and said, "From Chad," or I don't know. They were drunk and I forgot what it said. But then Chad did something. He said, "Chad James is great." And then Jared said this. Oh no, Chad said, "This is Jared. I'm a douche." And then I think he just left it like that. And then Jared said, "You all suck at Mario Party." So that's what it says in Scribble, and it's very not so legible, but it's there, and they wrote on it. So
there we go.
This will not get washed often, and it'll be kept and probably brought to multiple SGC. So sorry, camera's going out of focus. We'll come back.
It's okay. I think we'll let it adjust.
Yeah, it'll do it. Trust me. It'll come
there
back.
We go. And we're back.
Yeah.
I don't do this very often.
Probably my best treasured thing I have there. Yeah.
I don't do this very often, but sometimes I bring along something that the other person might like. But I brought something that I like, and I managed to find these last week for next to nothing. And it's 2 NES carts, one of which is Little Nemo Dream Master.
Okay.
Which is the best NES game ever.
Right.
And Low Gravity Man.
Oh, nice.
With instructions.
That's cool. So
and that cost me
pretty much a complete get without the box. So that's nice. Those are usually rare games to get, or?
Yeah, for me they are. In England, can't find them anywhere unless you go on eBay or something like that. So I thought I'd bring those along.
I'm always pricing the games on that pricing website that they have. It's like Video Game Chart or something. So I'm always looking there, and I honestly haven't come across those, but I want to talk to Fox. If they show me those at the show, I want to talk to Fox about those because he's like a hardcore NES collector, or admin Fox. So I'll have to grab those and see what the names were again, and then I'll ask him because he's a hardcore collector. So I'll reference you.
Nice
or
one.
something.
Okay.
Well, cool grab though.
And that ends the old video game questions, and we come to the last segment.
All right.
Which is everybody's favourite segment. It's the G1 questions.
All right.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Although I have to apologise to Prowler64, who I didn't include on the last interview because I didn't underline his name.
Oh, okay.
Oh well. Okay, here we go. This one's from G1 Gaming Tank, and he wants to know, what is the worst game you have played that's got a good soundtrack?
Pictionary for the NES. Tim Fallon has done great soundtracks in general for NES games. Literally look up his entire catalog. He's done that. He's done stuff on not so popular systems in Europe called like the ZX Spectrum. He just takes full advantage of the sound chip of the systems and makes great compositions. There's actually some interviews with him on YouTube I saw. He's just a cool guy too. He just makes rockin' music outside of video game music, or at least composes or writes it. And when he does soundtracks, they're like for the shittiest games ever, or at least some like mediocre games, but they boost like it's just the best soundtracks ever. Like literally, Pictionary is like one of the best ones. Solstice is another one he's done the soundtrack for, at least the intro for that.
I'm sure. That didn't he do Plock for the SNES?
Yeah, Plock.
He did Plock,
yeah, and that has some pretty good music too. Yeah, so he's got a good little repertoire of like soundtrack music. Just the games just aren't. They're not up to snuff for like. I mean, they're not necessarily like
they don't
memorable.
Deserve his music.
The only reason they're memorable is because the music's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that guy, Tim Fallon is his name. Yeah.
Okay. The next question comes from Prowler64, and he wants to know: do you have a story where something has made it difficult or impossible to make a video? Maybe your computer breaks down on you, or you live somewhere that's noisy.
Well, I will share a few times on Randumb. It was more of a technical issue, more than like it wasn't preventing me from uploading a video. I went ahead. It was an episode with me. I think it was also my co-host Dark Vapor, and G1 Zero Chaos Fire. He also known as, I think it's G1 Fat Cat. I think way back when, but he's now Zero Chaos Fire. But anyway. It was an episode with him on Randumb. We recorded the whole thing. We did a whole entire episode. It was actually one of the few times he was available and I was available to do an episode with him. And I was switching from Windows 7 to Windows 8. Shame on me, because I know I shouldn't have. But anyway, in the middle of doing that, I don't know how and I don't know why, a lot of my stuff was saved except that recording file. So when I switched over, I was like, lost episode. Oops. So I invited him for the next week to come on. So there's actually is an episode on Randumb. It's like, I think it's called Unforeseen Consequences. If you look that up, it's really like a minute and a half, just being like, sorry, I lost the episode. And then it just ends. It's pretty much. There's a little explanation, but it was funny. So, but we did another episode with him. So that was a big, like, I think I did that twice. One time I didn't actually post it for videos, like, oops, let's just do it again or whatever. So it's just mishaps. I record it, I lose it, or I accidentally like misplace it or delete it. I don't know how it does, but it happened twice and hasn't happened since. Right? I'd say about a year. So not as late. I'm getting better about that, I guess. If that makes sense. But yeah, that was my technical goof, I guess.
And our next G1 question comes from Firehazard51. What is your guilty gaming pleasure?
My guilty gaming pleasure.
Yeah. What's a game that you
I
like?
I know Fire Hazard, and I met with him in SGC, so I got to answer this smartly because I don't know. We don't have a grudge, but I like pushing his buttons sometimes. So my favorite video game guilty pleasure. Sometimes when I'll do it with some other friends. They're not G1s, but I play with some friends that will. It was way back in the Halo days, back in like Halo 3, Halo Reach-ish. It was mostly Halo 3 though. There was a thing that in the Bungie community, there's something called getting Recon, which was a special armor you could put on your character that Bungie staff would give you. So what my friend did was he would convince, and I was part of it too, like in his party, he would convince players that he was Bungie staff, and he would actually go into multiplayer games and say, like, okay guys, I'm from Bungie, this is what you need to do, get Recon. So it's just like, they'll have him like jump off cliffs or just do like impossible things you can't usually do. and then he'll just troll them. So I just find that so funny because it's like, oh, and then there's like a message afterwards, and usually he didn't get reported for that much, but when he, when he did do it, he never got in trouble for it. So it was just kind of funny. At least the people that kind of did it with him, like, it's just younger kids, like, that was like, can you give me recon? And he was like, and he would just trick the heck out of them. And it was really funny. So just to kind of see that and just kind of see like utter failure as an end result, it's just kind of, you can laugh at it, but looking back on it, it's just like, I was kind of messed up because I have like nephews that are kind of getting that age. Like, I would never do that to my nephews or anything like that.
Yes,
so,
you would.
yeah. So that's one of the few things like I just find funny to do as I guess as a guilty pleasure or whatever, and just it's messed up at the same time, but I found it funny. So, but
Excellent.
yeah.
Our last, no, it's not the last one. The next G1 question comes from G1 Icy Paul. I normally ask this one when we do the blog kind of style, but I'm going to ask it this time in video.
Sure.
What game has caused you most physical harm playing it?
Physical harm.
Yeah.
Huh. I guess Mario Party.
Yep.
Right here. Tug of War. Tug of War or the rowboat game. You get blisters for a few weeks or whatever. I kind of look at my hands sometimes like I think I can see like ingrained in there's a callus somewhere from when I was younger. It's
Remnants.
like I think that was from playing Mario Party or playing that. So any of the rotation and 64 games, I would say causes me most physical harm. I would say it makes me, I guess, the most sore. I guess for a while I actually, at least from like an athletic standpoint, I played a lot of Dance Dance Revolution way back in like junior high and high school. I got the metal dance pad. I invested in that. I had 3 DDR games and stuff. I really liked that game, so I made a huge investment into it, and that actually worked out for like a workout routine when I was like, I usually play football, and like in the off season I would just come home and play DDR for like 30-45 minutes and have fun dancing to Eurobeat Japanese music or whatever. So, but yeah, at least from that, like I never got hurt doing that. I probably get sore, but like physical pain and like digging into my skin, it's definitely Mario Party though.
Fantastic. And we come to our last question from G1 A Zero to Hero. And he wants to know your turn-ons.
What was that?
Everybody says that. He wants to know your turn-ons. What turns
turn
you
on.
on?
What turns me on?
Yes.
Oh.
Had some great answers from this so far.
I know Zero would ask that question because he's that kind of guy that would ask that question. So the answer is a Zero to Hero. He is my turn on. That's his answer from me.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, I'm not going into anything deeper than that. Just let him know that.
Fantastic. And that is we've come to the end of the interview.
Aw, seems so short.
I know. I should write more questions.
Probably, or I'll invite you on a podcast and then there'll be like a continuation. So
yes, we can.
Maybe. We'll see. So.
Okay, I have been Master Wayne on G1 Interviews, and I've been joined by Bobbohead13.
See you guys. Thanks for listening to me say things.
Thanks for watching
Peace.
and listening. Peace. See you later.
Bye.